I think that's because of my waist.
The April 30th, 2018 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
We're doing great.
I'm awesome.
Good. Alita's with us. This is her first time. Would you like to share a little bit about yourself before we move on, Alita?
Actually, yes. I am very familiar with Miss Peggy West. She's the reason that I'm here today. I am a small business bookkeeper, but I like property managers. They're kind of my area of fun time.
Good.
So that is where I specialize. And I am an avid fan of QB Desktop. I'm learning QBO. And in regards to a few things that you said, I'm of the opinion you should never sync any app with any accounting software ever, because it'll make you lazy and you'll forget to do the work and then you'll have mistakes. So that is a little bit about me.
Welcome, Alita.
You fit right in.
That's exactly right. So, Linda, we're going to start with you, and we're going to talk about your gift certificate setup.
Yes. I got involved in a thread, I guess you call them, on one of the Facebook groups about QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online, and doing gift certificates and with Square, and how the best way to set them up is. And I explained to the lady, we talked on the phone then, she private messaged me. And I always set up gift certificates, and I name them short names. I call it gift certs. And that's an other current liability. And that's like a parent account. Then underneath that, I have a sub account, also both other current liabilities, a sub account of gift certs sold. When I sell them, obviously they're a liability because I've taken money in, but I haven't provided my service yet. And then when people redeem them, redeemed is underneath gift certs, and it's equal with the sold, redeemed. And so when you sell them, they go to sold and they point to that current liability. But when the money comes in, when you take that gift certificate and you provide the service, then it goes to redeemed, and it automatically takes it over to sale. And so you think in terms of how you set that up in QBO. Now, these gift certificates are going to be for packages of like 3 facials and packages of 6 facials. So I said, you're going to need to play with this to see which way works out best. But I said, I would tend to put 1 facial and 1 discount, a discount for a package of 3, together as 1 group or bundle. Then I would put another package of 1 facial and 1, and I would put 3 of those together to get a package of 3. Because when people redeem them, chances are they're not going to redeem all of them together. They're going to redeem them one at a time. That's why I was thinking I'm going to just put the facial and the discount together. So that way when they're redeemed, they go together automatically. And that's how I would set it up.
So you're talking setting up items, and setting up items in desktop is different than setting up items in QBO, as far as the desktop is called groups and
Right.
QBO is called bundles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. But it's the same thing.
I don't think it's a big difference in doing them like that, though. I mean, you set it up the same way, only you're using one is desktop and one is your online.
Right, just different.
And I don't know why there's a difference in the terms. They're essentially the same thing. So I don't know why there's no continuity from the choices in QB desktop to QBO. That's what
No, there is not. There are many things that are different.
We're not in charge of
words,
so it doesn't matter. All we have to know is it's
the same.
X. It's called a group in QuickBooks Desktop. It doesn't matter why they didn't want to call it that. Who knows?
It doesn't.
But they decided they would like the idea of bundle better for QuickBooks.
Which is why we have always said that you have to clarify whether you're talking QuickBooks Desktop or
Mhm.
QuickBooks Online, because they are two very different programs. And when
They
you say QuickBooks, there's a big piece of information missing there.
Indeed. Indeed.
And not only that, but there's a lot of different QuickBooks desktops and
Yes, there is.
QuickBooks Online. It's like when I talk to people, I said, well, I'm going to get QuickBooks Online. Well, do you know which one of the three you're getting? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know there were three.
Right. When you ask someone about their version of desktop, they're like, huh? What version are you talking about? It's QuickBooks. No, with QuickBooks Desktop, there are other versions. You have to specify.
That's why the design of everything could be very confusing to a layperson because
Mhm.
Absolutely. It would be nice if they kept things pretty much the same as much as possible. But apparently it's not high on their important list.
Yeah, but if they do that, then people are not going to buy all of them.
Well, we're not going to change it. So I have finally learned, though, using QuickBooks Online, that the accounting underneath is all the same. Accounting
Yes,
and
it is.
how they do it and where things are on the menu is radically different. So
Mhm.
if you blindfold me and tied my hands behind my back, I can do desktop very fast.
Yep.
You know it all.
I agree with Linda 100%. You can mute me, make me blind, make me deaf. I'd still be able to navigate my way through QuickBooks Desktop.
QuickBooks Online is a journey.
Yeah, it is. At first it is anyway. I'm gonna tell you that I've been working on trying to do that advanced.
Oh, please don't talk about it. Please, Peggy, don't.
You go for it, Peggy. You go.
I am going for it, but the problem is, once you come up out of that sample file, everything starts all over again. So the last time I'm working on this extra long problem because they give you hands-on to do. And I have it open on my computer screen, and then I have it open on online desktop, and I have the sample file open, and I got so close to the end, and it just froze up.
Aww.
Did you?
It happened to me
I
too.
did it like 2 or 3
Twice.
times, and I wanted to cry so bad. I'm not doing this. I quit. I'm not doing it again, and I refused to get back on it. I wouldn't even look at it. I was so mad.
So you are talking about the sample QuickBooks Online file, the test drive?
That Craig's
Test drive file?
Every time you come out of it, every time you cut it off, it starts all the way back over.
Yes, it
You have to
does.
re-enter everything.
Yes.
That's
It
frustrating.
froze
I
up for me
wonder
so
if there
many
would
times.
be any way to bring that sample file in if you had that 5 for 25. I wonder if there'd be any way to bring that sample file over into one of your 5 for 25 so you'd
I never
have.
thought about that. I never thought about that. That's a good question.
I wonder.
You know what? I'm
It's a great question until they decide to
lose one
start
of your
charging you
fives,
more than
though.
$5 for that data.
But it would make life simple. I mean, you're trying to go through this advanced test, you get all the way to the end of this problem, and all of a sudden everything shuts down and you have to start over again.
all the way. Everything
Frustrating.
you have to do it all the way over again. I wanted to cry so bad.
I'm talking about when to pull your hair out.
Problem as a
Huh?
result of that, we're going to come to her and she's going to help us.
Just want to pull your hair out. Nope. So I left it alone too. I'm with Peggy. I'm not even going to touch you again. I want a divorce right now. That's what I want. Me and QBO are not getting married. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all make me feel so good.
So let's move on to Sarah Prevost and apps overwriting your chart of accounts in QuickBooks Online.
And your items.
And your items.
And your items, yeah. So on the topic of the spa thing, I integrated an app into, I cleaned up the books, got it all beautiful, and created this gorgeous items list.
No backup,
Integrated this
right?
app, and it started overwriting all this stuff. And I was like, huh. So now it's a bit of a mess on my items list, but all that the client uses is the software the front end software. So it's now on to me to go back and just clean up my gorgeous
Oh
word
my
can get rid of
goodness.
it.
And
Sarah said,
However, it's allowing me to catch things because it is unfortunately codifying it in things that I would never do. So it gives you that quick moment, but it's hard because this particular app will not let you have a mapping detail. So I can't map it. And it's sort of like they want to keep it that way. And it's really unfortunate. And they charge for the integration, which I think is also, I think at some point that particular industry is going to get, with the multitude of apps that are offered, there's not that many, it's going to get hit and somebody's going to break through it. And it's going to change the way it works currently. It's a very cost heavy thing, but it saves, I don't want to say it saves me time, it saves them time.
Right. So how awful would it be to unsync it?
It would go back to, unfortunately, trying to tie out the groups, pull down the data in a CSV import. I mean, it would just take a lot more on the granularity level because they offer a lot.
Okay, Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
how about if you could, from the app that you're using, could you print out a daily report and then in QBO, this I've done in QBO,
Yeah.
with a restaurant. I take their POS and I create a daily report.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a memorized one, and it's a recurring transaction in QBO.
But that's labor intensive. That's still taking labor to do that. Yeah.
That takes, and see, that takes me, I'm not going to hit the file that often, so it'll take me more. So I'd rather deal on the grouping side and match it. Now, unfortunately, the service provider was also allowing for the credit card processing for this particular software, and that was really messy. So we got them off of that, and they went on to a new platform, which was great because the new platform is very clean, and we can match a little bit easier. What I like, though, is the details that come in very clean on every invoice. But the unfortunate thing is just this moment where I'm like, now I have to take out all this. I just had really nice packages going on in there.
You had it designed and it was purring and doing what you wanted, and that app just put a whole bomb on it.
It did, yeah. And you know, that's a great idea, Linda. It's just that particular niche, depending on if they use a very specific software for that industry, they're not as user-friendly on this side of the fence. They're all about the client. You get your text messages as a client, a customer, you get all this stuff, right?
Right.
And the CRM, they're really like a great CRM thing too.
They're very front-end intensive, it sounds like.
I don't do any bookkeeping or accounting. I set up the system for my customers to do it. So what I did was I trained them and memorized the zero-sum sales receipt like you do in a restaurant. Well, it is a restaurant. And I just showed them how to do it.
Yeah.
And they have to have somebody there then to do it, right?
Let me ask you a question with that app too. Do they also receive payment through those apps?
They no longer do for this one anymore. They do it on an outside system because it was a little, and the unfortunate thing too is in that process, they learned that particular app was not letting them do the FSA and the HSA, which was causing a huge problem, which meant then you had to go out to like Square.
Right.
And that was, I'm like, wait, what are we doing? We're defeating all of this great work. So let's just so she found a great system, and I like it. I mean, she doesn't have to do the QuickBooks payment one because of this particular one, and this one works for all platforms, and it's very clean, good reports out of it. So, and then, we kind of looked at also the model of the SPA Finder advertising style stuff versus the other stuff, and did away with a couple key advertising that wasn't really netting very good dollars. It was just a waste of dollars.
Wow.
So that was another interesting kind of find through the numbers, even in the summation style of work that we did. It was like lining it up going, okay, this is funny. So
right.
I'll deactivate my gorgeous list. Oh, well.
That hurts.
I tried.
So bad. Well, I have a client that is we'll call it sports team manager.
Mhm.
They do soccer teams, and every year new soccer kids sign up, and then the next year those kids go to the next level up and new kids come in. And so she was using QuickBooks Desktop, and we were doing the batch invoicing, which really worked well for this. And we got it set up, and it was really working well. And then they decided that there's this new something called League app that they want to use. So the League app would actually take care of all of the accounts receivable. The kids have to be certified through this organization to be insured and all of that kind of stuff. So this League app takes all of that out of their hands. It takes all of the invoicing and chasing the kids that haven't paid and all of that away from it. And they're, really serious about moving with this app. And talking to the people, the apps and the lady that I'm working with, they told her point blank, you have to move to QBO.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I want my desktop.
Good for her.
To learn an app all over again. And after talking to her and asking her, who's going to be doing what, who's going to, who's on first, blah, blah, blah. And having worked with her and her accountant to know what she needs at the end of the year to give to the accountant, my advice was to not sync them, was to keep them separate. That way the managers can be in the League app and they can maintain all of the students that are signing up and at whatever stage they're at. They can worry about the invoices, all of that. All of the invoices always pointed to one income account. One income. There was no more granularity than that.
Yeah.
One income account. So I said, let them work with the League app. Let them do whatever they need to do with that, and don't worry about it. What I'd like you to do is bring in the income through the bank feeds.
There you go.
Download the bank fees, and everything is income. And then all you're doing in QuickBooks is using it as like a general ledger to give to your tax person at the end of the year. So all the maintenance and all that has to do with the League, everybody's using the app and doing that. But in order to make sure that everything is going from the League app into QuickBooks, I need to have reports from the League app to match the income on the bank statements.
Exactly.
And that's
all I want.
That's basically the one item, right? When you have multiple service items with multiple levels, that's where I was like, gosh, it would cost me more time to try and do it that way. But this is about numbers, like number of students or number of kids in a program, which is what tier they're in. That's like a direct, to me, that seems so much more cleaner just to grab that detail.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, she asked me, she went back and talked to her app people and explained that to them. And she said, can you sit on a conference call with me? And I said, no problem. So, while this app person was talking, I said, we're not going to sync QuickBooks with it. We're going to keep it separate. You're going to work with them and you're going to show them how to use your app, and your app is going to do everything they need it to do. But as far as syncing QuickBooks, we're not doing it.
That's the problem. Everybody say we can sync with QuickBooks, but they don't really. They're not really.
They don't care. They don't know what's
They don't know the back end of it. The ones who they don't know what we go through.
Yeah, they're not invested.
Sure don't.
Right, exactly.
It's really they're not invested in our granularity of detail that we want.
Right.
When you have these one-to-one items, I'm like, okay, but at least you can change items very quickly.
I asked you about the payment because the little guy, he has a moving company, and his payments come in. They take their fees out.
Yeah.
And make a deposit, they deposited the net amount.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, and then they group them together, the payments together. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, where are you getting this from? I go and I look at their report, and I compare it to ours. I like the way Intuit does ours, where they put the amount of the invoice, and then they take out the fee.
Right.
So you
Right.
want to know the,
So it took me forever to figure that out.
you got the workaround for it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, there's an easy workaround to it.
Okay.
When you group them, on the bottom line on there where it says resolve the discrepancy, you code that right to merchant fees. You code it, I name it merchant fee, I code it straight there, and that's for that daily batch.
Right.
And then I
That
net
is a
out.
nice little tip for QB Online. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I got multiple. I got restaurants. I got all kinds doing this, and so I just net it out that way.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
it's faster and easier, and you just that way you match to those sales receipts. You don't have to like try and do anything with those, because I never like to mess with the original information in. I'll
Right.
just do it through the
That's
matching the deposit or
Okay.
making the deposit, whichever's easier. I do notice there is a bug, so I have been just picking up, not through the bank feed, I've been going through bank deposits to pick up the correct days. 'Cause if you have some that are the same numbers, sometimes they don't, the days they're a little weird
Right.
sometimes,
Mhm.
depending on the file. Not all files are that way, but just net it at the bottom where you resolve the difference, throw it in there. And then I vendor name it. I always vendor name it. I want to go back and look up the chart of accounts, and I want the vendor name. I don't want any no named items. I cringe when I see them because it's harder to find when you're desperate.
It's much harder to make sure they're accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially if your vendor for your merchant services is sending you a statement at the end of the month. So, I agree with that. You should definitely code it to your merchant so you can match those up and be like, okay, everything works, we're good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I do a lot of third-party apps. I
Mhm.
bring them into QuickBooks through a clearing account. If and then I actually, for every deposit that goes in the bank, I just bring it from the clearing account. So
That's another way of doing it too.
because the apps have all of the detail in them that is needed,
Right.
we don't need that detail in QuickBooks. We just need what we need to do taxes within QuickBooks. The rest of it can all stay in the app and be worked in the app on the phones and the tablets and the iPads and whatever.
Exactly.
And
I
makes
can't do that. I'm so weird. I learned pencil and paper, put the detail into the system. That's how I do it. That's my bread and butter. That's where I stick to. And when I don't see that, when I see a bunch of generalized stuff, I'm like, Sarah, I cringe. Why would you do that?
I want detail. I want input. I need input.
Yeah, I need it. I need detail. Like, who is
Right.
this? What is this for? Why did you put
Memo.
this
I hate
But
blank
if
memos.
you can get the reports from the app, why do you need it in both places?
You don't need it both places. And the reason why you
Depends on what
don't
it
want it
is.
both places, I'll tell you. I worked with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and they finally now can scale. When we started a year ago, their bookkeeper was entering everything in Chamber Master and then re-entering everything in QuickBooks.
Leads
Everything
to so many errors,
If
so
they
many
needed, they
errors.
could get any reports on who was a member, all that. It didn't need to be in QuickBooks. And I changed their system so we would bring in a daily sales summary every day. And we'd run it through a dummy clearing account and deposit it in the bank to match the bank deposits. And now every day they have $10,000 deposited into their bank account. And the other lady was taking 24 hours a week to do the entries. We have a bookkeeper that's taking 6 hours a week.
That's good.
That's cool.
We have
Okay,
all
before we have to go, I want to show Peggy's website. Peggy's new website. Peggy's going to share with us. She just put her website together, and this is Peg's. So,
All right, gotcha.
okay, so you know how to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Okay, so this is West Point Books. And I've spent like I think,
Whoa!
See, don't you think Peggy's picture should be there?
Yes.
I think Peggy's picture
Yes.
should be right there.
that is so flattering. That is so flattering to hear you say it. But anyway, I mean, it's just everybody said you get where you need to go. You just everything is laid out. Everything is consistent. What is the problem? You're the problem.
Perfect.
I mean,
Easy to read. It's nice and sharp.
yeah.
Yes, good
I think
contract.
it's clean and clear.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna quit whining about it.
Yes, please.
I mean, I have it connected to
It's beautiful.
It is.
I mean, they can
And you're in WordPress, so you can keep it updated yourself if you want.
I finally figured WordPress out. It only took me 18 years.
Yeah, it took me a long
It
time.
only took 18 years.
You know what? I told this one guy, I was talking to him, I said, because I'm just like so unhappy with the person who did it, I owe her an apology because I nutted up. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I was talking to this other little guy that does books, and he said, well, I'm a Wix person, and you know, if I do it, you're gonna have to redo it through Wix, and I'm not redoing my website. I don't want to redo the design. I love the design. I just want to know how to work it. Can you train me to work my website? So, but you know what? He told me, well, you're just going to have to learn how to use WordPress. And you know what? Last Friday, I took the time out and got busy. And I learned how to put what I want, when I want, how I want.
And it looks good. I think it looks good. It looks clean. It looks professional. It looks very good.
Well,
It looks like you spent a lot of money on it. And
I did not.
it looks
I did
expensive.
not. You know, I still have a couple of things I need to do, but I did not. I promise you, I spent $450 on it.
Excellent.
Nice job. Okay, one last thing before we go. I wanted to mention Misha and I will be on Desktop Time, Taste of QBox. And that link was put in our Small Business Accounting Advisors group.
What day?
Are you in that group?
Hey.
No, I'm not in that group.
Okay, I'll add you to that.
Okay, you have to
Please
ask.
and thank you.
Yeah, I have to put you in there.
Okay.
So
There's my husband in his rental pickup truck.
it's May 16th.
Glad he's okay, Sarah. I'm glad he's
May 16th, Wednesday, May 16th, 4 p.m. Eastern.
4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Oh, I'll be in here in time. I'll be back in time for that.
Yep.
I have it in my calendar right now.
That's a Wednesday?
Yes.
It's 3 o'clock. Okay, I'll be here.
Awesome.
Wednesday
And-
after Mother's Day.
Yeah, Alito, I'll have to get you in our group.
Yes, please. I didn't even know that there was a small business accounting advisory group. I would have joined that a long time ago.
Well,
I'd be a
welcome. We're
veteran
happy
with
to
you
have
all
you.
already.
I love
Well,
Kept secrets.
we are out of time today, so we will be back same time, same place next
Great.
week.
Perfect. Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure meeting